latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Chicago. John Anthony in for Dan Proft, Chicago's Morning Answer. 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. You know, I'm really excited about our next guest. I can't believe we made it through 2 hours. This is, if you didn't listen at the beginning of the show, this is my first time doing the Morning Answer all by my lonesome. And I really am having fun. I really am. Chief Weitzel is always a good guest, but our next guest, he's the publisher of the Hayride, senior editor at the American Spectator, and author of Racism, Revenge, and Ruin, From Hell March with Love, and Blockbuster. Guys, welcome my good friend, Scott McKay. Scott, welcome to Chicago's Morning Answer.
Howdy, John. How's it going?
I'm all right. You know, I miss you. I feel like Stephen Colbert when he was talking to Obama. We miss you. I miss you, my brother. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, it's been some time.
Yeah, it is. Now, you wrote an article, The Moral Divide, It's Good versus Evil. Now, Scott, you write that the battle for America's soul has always been good versus evil. What pushed you to make that declaration now? And what was the moment that convinced you that this was no longer just political but spiritual?
Well, I mean, I've been sort of convinced of this for quite a while, but when when the pro-Hamas crowd decided that they wanted to show up at Israeli consulates around the country on October 7th to have demonstrations, you know, like while the peace plan was being consummated, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything just more glaring than that, right? Like, I mean, that was a defining moment. Like, we're going to go stick it to the Jews while the people we're backing are actually about to surrender to the Jews, right? And I looked at that, I was like, this is unbelievable. And of course, the same folks equivocated when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, right?
Yeah. You
know, it was well, I don't think there should be political assassinations, but I didn't like Charlie Kirk. And it's like, you know, the old line is everything before the but is BS.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. You can say, hey, a guy shouldn't be assassinated for wanting to debate people on college campuses. Yeah. And it doesn't matter whether you like him. You can say that and then shut up. And they couldn't. And it was like, well, they weren't all that upset about Charlie Kirk being assassinated. They just know they were supposed to be.
That's true.
And there's a whole host of things. The government shutdown is utterly indefensible, right? Like, well, we want you to repeal the big, beautiful bill or we're going to shut the government down. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. You lost the election, and the people who won the election had an agenda, which was they're going to try to shrink the government down and try to get the deficit to a manageable level that maybe it can finally be resolved. And we don't want to give, you know, health care to illegal aliens who were trying to squeeze out of the country as a result. And you don't get to shut the government down over stuff like this, right?
That's true.
You know, and like, then you see, and this was a really, really, I think, not pivotal, but illustrative moment was when Mike Lawler approached Hakeem Jeffries, 2 days ago, I guess it is?
Yeah.
And Lawler was kind of trolling him, you know, because he had this bill where they were going to extend these subsidies for Obamacare for like one more year, which, you know, I don't like. We were talking about this, I guess I was on last Friday with Chris Crock, and he was pretty exercised about the idea of doing that extension.
Yeah.
And I was with Chris. I didn't like what Lawler does. I think Lawler's basically a rhino.
He is.
But he goes to Jeffries and he wants to argue with him. The answer, if you're Hakeem Jeffries, is just like, yeah, right, whatever, and like give this guy 5 seconds and then move on. Instead, he gets in Lawler's face. He tells him, oh, you're embarrassing yourself, and like insults him over and over again. And it's really obvious what he's doing. He's trying to get Lawler to like take a poke at him so that he looks bad, right? And it was an utter failure. And so everybody, is like looking at Hakeem Jeffries saying, what a meltdown. But what he was trying to do was the same thing that Antifa idiot that got caught on video spitting on the ICE agent, right? A couple of days ago. Like, it's attempted victimization. I'm going to provoke you in doing so because they roughly arrested the guy, and they were hoping that the video clip would be the rough arrest and not the spitting before the rough arrest. And this is everything about the left right now, is they have fully embraced victimhood culture, and so it's all about trying to make yourself into a victim so that you can score points against the other side. And all of these Antifa demonstrations are that. Hamas is that, right? We're going to go do a widespread atrocity, a terrorist attack, and then we're going to retreat behind hospitals and schools and hide among women and children so that when you come to get us, you're going to end up killing women and children, and we can hold them up as martyrs to your cruelty. And it's like, where this ends is abject chaos and slaughter, because at some point, nobody respects the women and children anymore.
That's so true.
Because you can't, right? Like, it's like, no, I got to win this war. And if you're going to make me kill women and children in order to win it, that's on you, not me. And the minute the good guys have made that decision, the good guys are no longer the good guys anymore.
But Scott,
which is what these guys want.
But Scott, that's what I love about this article over at spectator.org. It's good versus evil. It's always been good versus evil. Because you call victimhood the death of civilization. But here's the question, though. What is the moral or cultural mechanism that keeps victimhood culture alive? Is it media, academia, or is it something deeper in human nature?
I think the answer is yes, right? Like, I mean, an advanced society is going to be based on things like human compassion and a moral code. I mean, and I'm not an expert on all of this stuff, but there's a few things out there that talk about how we were an honor society and now we're becoming a victimhood society.
Yeah.
And, like an honor society would never put itself in a position where, like, well, I'm going to spit on an ICE agent so that I get roughly arrested, right? Like because your honor would dictate you don't spit on somebody.
Yeah.
Right. Like that, like you're the bad guy when you do that. And it is inherent on you not to be the bad guy. And, not that Hamas is part of Western culture at all, but the idea of hiding behind women and children is so dishonorable that no culture worth its salt would ever countenance something like that. Yeah. And of course, the Geneva Convention and the rules of war and all of that was established by a Western honor culture, right? Like, you did this is like, okay, well, how do we prosecute wars with honor? And it's, well, the first thing we're going to do is we're not going to kill the women and children, right? And so we're imposing those rules on people who never signed on to any of it. And, the death of civilization is when we give up on our rules in order to deal with the exigencies of someone who doesn't subscribe to them at all, right? Yeah. And practically that's kind of what you have to do, but it assails your honor.
Yeah.
And so that, like, this is why civilization fails, is because you lose the adherence to that behavioral standard. and we're seeing it all over the place. That once you get a certain amount of fraying of the fabric, you can't do this stuff anymore. And I mean, it starts on small little things like, guys don't open doors for women as much as they used to because they get sneered at.
Oh, you get yelled at now. I can open the door myself.
I mean, so it's like, you ask, you get to a door and you ask a woman, are you a feminist? And then they go, well, yeah. It's like, okay, well, open the damn door yourself. Because, I mean, who wants to get yelled at? And the true honor society is, I'm going to open this door for you even if you yell at me. Yeah. But that's hard. That's a hard ask. And I mean, that's a small thing, and I don't want to equate it to Hamas, but it's the, when the fabric frays, it keeps fraying, and eventually you get to the point where it's bomb the hospital. We'll kill all the women and children, but we'll get the Hamas fighters inside anyway.
Yeah, but Scott, nobody wants to talk about. I interviewed the former Gravati Brigade commander, and he talked about per capita, the number of hospitals and schools that are in Gaza. He said I forget the number, but it was an outrageous number. They have the most hospitals and schools because why? That's where they store a lot of their weaponry, and that's where their base of attacks are from. So that when Israel responds, guess what they're responding to hit? A hospital or school, which Hamas has built and they're using to attack Israel. That's the true matter of what's happening over there, right?
Well, but John, think about it, okay? Hamas didn't go collect taxes from a vibrant Gaza economy to build those hospitals.
True.
They got money from Britain and France and the U.S. So we want to build a hospital. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Here's $10 million to go build a hospital. And they're like, great. So we're going to store the rockets in the basement. Right? I mean, they scammed the West into building their military installations disguised as hospitals and schools.
Yeah.
And, and so you look at this, you're like, wait, the level of grift and evil associated with this is like, you can't even fathom it. And of course, it's not just that, it's the terror tunnels that they build under the hospitals and schools.
Yeah. Now, Scott,
and it's all financed by do-gooder Westerners who want to help out the poor Palestinians.
Yeah. Now, Scott, did you come up with Timu Obama? I know. Are you the one that coined the term Timu? Because I know a lot of people were calling. Hakeem Jeffries, dollar store Obama. But did you coin him Timu Obama?
I saw that somewhere, and it just resonated with me because I'm like, no, because you go to Dollar General, and that's a perfectly respectable business, right?
Yeah.
Timu is not.
Man, they got me. Timu got me. And,
he's Timu Obama. He's not Dollar Store Obama.
Listen, man, I bought a bag. I'm thinking a bag that I could take on a flight with me. They said you can air vacuum it. Man, I got the bag and I thought it was because on the picture it looks like this big old tall, big bag. And when I got it, man, it was at least half the size of that. So that's exactly what he reminds me of. He really does. But Zach Bryan. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, I was just going to say, for a while, when I first started seeing Jeffries on TV, he reminded me of Orlando Jones's character in Office Space. Oh, the dude that shows up at the door and he's selling magazine subscriptions and he's playing like he's a little slow, right? And it turns out he's not slow at all, and he was actually working, a tech job like these other guys were, and he realized he could make more money selling magazine subscriptions like he was special, And I was like, that's kind of Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah. But it turns out he's no, he's just Timu Obama.
Yeah.
So,
but Scott, what's going on? What's going on in the world of country music? I know Zach Bryan came up with this song, "Bad News." Talk about not knowing your audience. Is country music going left?
Well, I don't think so because there's still tons and tons of country stars that are reliably conservative. But and this is the thing. I might need to, if I wrote a thing at the Spectator basically saying, buy Zach. And I think that's still certainly true. But what I didn't fully account for and don't have enough information to properly do it is this could very well have been the label saying, hey, whether he wrote the song or somebody else wrote the song, and they like, hey, we're not even going to release this. Let's just let everybody know we have a song where you're trashing ICE and the cops, and let's start a big controversy because, man, that'll sell records.
Yeah. Because
that's the kind of crap the record industry does.
Yeah.
And it's the reason people have really come to hate the record industry. We'll sell records using a controversy, and then we'll release the song later, and then it'll have the second or the third or fourth verses or whatever. We'll talk about left-wing stuff that people don't like, and then the conservatives we could bring back in because they're all Zach's fans, but we'll have attracted a bunch of lefties to be Zach's fans. The answer to that is no, right? We actually are not interested in ICE being trashed and cops being trashed while Antifa is trying to kill cops and ICE. We're not actually interested in that. And if you go there at all, we're not interested in you either. And no, we're not interested in controversies and, playing games and, dirty publicist tricks. We don't want any of that crap anymore. We're done with it, especially from, celebrities. And I think that we're there. And I think that this guy has turned himself into the Cracker Barrel of country music.
Well, he did support Bud Light. So, there's that, Scott.
Well, Zach Bryan is a lefty, but you can be a lefty, but if you shut up about politics, I'm going to appreciate you for the talent that you have.
I agree. A lot of Hollywood actors I feel the same way about.
Yeah, just don't put it in my face because I don't actually want to talk about politics all day long.
I agree.
And if you respect that, your opinions are your opinions. But if the minute you start saying, well, no, actually, I'm a social commentator too, it's like, oh, okay, well, let's evaluate you on that basis. And then the answer is, nope, your takes suck. And now I'm not interested in you as an entertainer either. And, Michael Jordan understood this very, very well all those years ago when he said Republicans buy sneakers too.
That's it.
Nobody was interested in my political views.
Yeah.
They wanted to know whether, could I sky from the half or from the free throw line and make a windmill dunk, and can I shoot the rock?
That's it.
And people were really interested in Michael Jordan doing that, so he did that.
Except the black community, he did take a lot of heat from the black community. Trust me when I tell you that. But Scott McKay,
I'm not. Right.
Yeah.
But over his whole thing was, he's like, yeah, but as big a star as I am, I'm for the entire community, not just the black community anymore.
Correct.
Right?
Well, Scott McKay, we got to leave it there. You and I can continue to talk, and we forget that we're on radio. So.
For sure. Hey, everybody, have a great weekend. And by the way, Blockbusters, my new novel, is available at Amazon. Check it out. It's getting unbelievably good reviews right now.
Well, I wrote a book too. I don't know if you know that.
You never sent me a copy. I'd review it for the Spectator.
I will send you a copy, my brother. It's called Letters to John Boy. It's getting ready to be made into a movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Scott McKay, publisher of the Hayride, senior editor at the American Spectator, and author of Racism, Revenge, and Ruin, which is a heck of a book, from Hell March with Love and Blockbuster. Thanks so much for joining us on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thanks, Sean. See you soon.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer. Is the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians the revival of an ancient conflict recorded in the Bible?
The nation of Israel is a resurrected nation. So what if there was going to be a resurrection of another people, an enemy people of Israel? The Bible speaks about this whole war as a dragon representing the enemy attacking